Okay, now let us talk about this book by Kurt Barker. It is Cannibalism, Blood Drinking, and I Adept Satanism. You don't need one copy. You need two, three copies of this book and get them before it comes off the shelf. This is a very interesting book and it is mighty telling. Whether you want to believe or not, you need to understand this. There is a shadow world around us, and it explains where our missing children and young people are going. You need to get this book and you need to understand. I'll be reading a few lines randomly from this book to give you a feel, to give you a bit of taste of what this book is giving. Now, this author survived his childhood and the things that he have seen and experienced, and he's here sharing them with us. I suggest we bear them in mind and not be too judgmental of the truth. There's a popular saying, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. You're not going to like what you're about to hear, but I can only tell you about this book. What I've read, not what I feel. Right? So this book have a timestamp of 2014. So get it before it comes off the shelf. It is a very dangerous book and it is very, very telling. Now, before we go on, let me give this very interesting insight. I will read. Some Luciferians wish to unify the world by creating a new globalist religion which will merge all religion into one. This seems to be the goal of the Lucis Trust, which was originally called Lucifer Publication and is now associated with the United Nations. Now I've made two videos talking about the United Nations and the clues that Hollywood was giving. Now I have a book that is in black and white telling me about the connection with the United Nations and Lucifer. Now that is something you all need to bear in mind. They want a one world religion. So all you out there that thinks because you are Muslim, you're Sikh, you're Christian, you are Hindu, and you think you are not a part of this, you need to think again. Because these people did not work hard for their goal to go up in smoke. So don't try to isolate yourself from this end goal. Let's continue. I'm coming under attack and we're barely 3 minutes in. But regardless of the mistakes, regardless of the lost train of thought, I will push on. But if I sound funny, if I sound crazy, that's because I'm coming under attack. Right? I'm sweating like crazy. I wanted to do a live with this thing, but it's a good thing because I will look a complete mess. Now, this individual has been through a lot as a child and seen a lot as an adult. So I will read and give you an insight as to how it all started. No, as a child, I was subjected to satanic ritual abuse. And as I said before, although members of my immediate nuclear family were not Satanists and knew nothing about Satanism, an older family patriarch was a well connected Satanist. A former Nazi whom my family called Shotzi, right? I hope I got it right, was a nanny and babysitter to my siblings and me. She had been introduced to my nuclear family by this family patriarch, a Nazi war criminal. She had been brought over to the US by the CIA under the umbrella of Operation Paperclip. So she was given a new identity and denazified. She was trained in a form of MK Ultra mind control by the CIA. Now, the CIA is supposed to protect the United States citizen. Now, we see in this book the author have them as a demonic satanic entity. People ask question. She attempted to use MK Ultra method on me, but was unsuccessful. So another Satanist who was associate of my family's patriarch used other method. His name was Bob, and he used a combination of techniques including hypnotism. I was trained and conditioned to have two personality. When I was with my Christian family, I was called by the name Kurth. When I was involved with Luciferian secret society, I was known by the name Kathy. So as a boy, when he is Christian, when he has his biological identity, he was known as Kurth. Now when he was transformed into a boy, right, he's known as Kathy. So right here we see a correlation between Luciferianism, satanic, right, and children being transformed from boy to girl. That is what the book says on page 6. Check it out for yourself, read it, understand. Don't come at me. I'm just telling you various lines of this book so that you have an idea what this book is about and why you should get it. All right, here's another little section. I was a participant in the General Society of Lucifer. Both the patriarch and Bob worked for a man nicknamed the Baron. He was head of a secret criminal syndicate, among other things. The Baron ran a pedophile sex ring. He used child prostitutes to secretly film powerful men performing acts of pedophilia. These films were then used for blackmail purposes. In my identity as Kathy, I was trained and used as a child prostitute. Imagine that. So this child was recruited, right, by his own family to be part of this pedophile ring and to be passed around as a prostitute. Also in this book, the child said, it is also said, the author said, that he once had to do a police commissioner. So there is no use running to the authority because they are a part of it. Go check this book out. I'm not telling you, I'm just the one trying to explain a few lines in this book while getting attacked. I hope you can hear what I'm saying because I'm telling you, they are really beating me with a stick right now. No, the Baron and him go on a trip. Now, this trip is very interesting, and they visit some incestuous sisters. Now, the two sisters were born of brother and sister who had married. Now, these brother and sister now have these two sisters. So, they're from an incestuous relationship, and these two sisters end up being lovers. So, they end up in a lesbian relationship, and they're Luciferians, and they're a part of that, okay? So a little bit of story about the parents. The parents, that is a brother and sister for these two satanic sisters, they realized that the Society of Lucifer was the only social network that would accept a lesbian incestuous relationship, and thus the parents arranged for their daughter to become initiated into a Luciferian secret society. Now that is a line coming from the book. Now this book, there is a strong correlation, and we'll get into it, between lesbianism, transgenderism, incest, and satanic system. Why is there such a strong connection? Because if it is not of God, if it's not of the Most High, then it is of Satan. And this book is showcasing the connection between them. Have a look at this book for yourself and you will see. Right? Now they are visiting these satanic sisters. Now another thing that you need to realize about these people that are in these societies, Luciferian secret societies, the individuals that work for them, their maids, their bodyguards, their gardeners, they are usually a part of the society as well, and some of them take part in various acts. Whether it is cannibalism, drinking blood, or having sex with their bosses, they are all a part of it as well. Now, An interesting part that I need to read for you is how the two sisters explain how they get their human cattle meat. So that is what they're calling your children and yourself. You are nothing but human cattle for them. I'm feeling out of breath right now. The two sisters explain where they got their human cattle meat. They said that once a year they harvest a family of migrant workers. During the summer, the roads of the Midwest were frequent with cars and trucks which held the families of poor and often undocumented farm workers. These were people who, if went missing, would not be searched for by the authorities. Fresh and healthy meat for the taking. So the two sisters would send out their bodyguards. These were the three women who had greeted us at the door and frisked the baron. These three women would travel about during the proper season and find a family of healthy looking poor people. They would pretend to be charitable Christian women. How to help the poor. They would tote Bibles, wear pretty dresses, hang crosses and Christian crosses around their neck. They would locate some poor family in need. They would provide that family with donuts, cakes, or some other food they might crave. This food would have been laced with drugs, so that when the family had eaten it, they would fall into unconsciousness. Then the three women would tie them up and load them into the back of a van. When the migrant farm workers would wake up, they would find themselves chained up in a remote barn. A day or so would pass, and they would be given lots of water to drink. When the drugs had passed out from their system, they would be systematically slaughtered. Now you see, Christianity is used to bypass your defenses. Now these wicked women dress in pretty dresses with their Bible, Christian crosses, and go out to be charitable workers. No. After reading this book, I no longer trust no one. No charity workers, no one. Because this is the height of deception, and this is how they get their human cattle. They prey on poor people. That is why poverty is so important, because without poverty they cannot get you to kneel. They cannot get you in a corner. They absolutely need you in poverty. No, here a very horrible part how they slaughtered them. Right? So you realize where these missing people are going, and don't think that this don't exist. It exists everywhere in the world. Don't think because your child is not missing, your cousin, your family, your friend, that it doesn't matter. Yes, it matters. These people are doing these things and they're going unchallenged. They're even so forward to call you human cattle. The second cousin of the two sisters who do the butchery, with the two sisters, the two demonic sisters supervising the entire process. They would typically start with the father, cutting him up slowly while he was still alive. They would do this in front of the rest of the family, who would be screaming and beg for mercy. The second cousin would process the mother and young child in the same way until the meat and blood had been harvested. The internal organs, which they didn't wish to use, were composited and bones were grounded up for gardening. They would use some of the blood for cooking purposes, and some of the blood went into the vegetable garden, so nothing is wasted. The two sisters explained that they only ate human cattle meat in moderation and in combination with other meats. Okay now? Okay now. No, this is so sinister. People, open your eyes and realize that this thing of poverty is very important for people. That is how they are able to kidnap people and drug them. Be careful when you're going to restaurants with so-called friends to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Sometimes it could be a setup. Right? They could be setting you up and you don't know. Sorry. Now, here's another part. I'm coming under attack like crazy. These sisters have their own underground temple, and this temple was the basement had been designed and painted to mimic an ancient Egyptian temple. It was painted in the colors of green, orange, red, and yellow and blue. So again, we see the Egyptian culture being painted into the light of a satanic system. So we need to investigate more about Egyptian culture because it is very suspicious right now. Now here's another line about the sisters. The two sisters had many books on cannibalism, Satanism, secret society, secret history, sexology, and pedophilic sex. They showed us some pictures in one book which illustrated gay marriage in ancient pagan cultures. They showed us some photo of their own gay marriage. Nancy was dressed up like Isis and Bernie like Horus. Now, these are two sisters from an incestuous relationship and they are in a gay marriage. Again, we see homosexuality connected to Luciferianism, Satanism. What is going on? Check this book out for yourself and get an understanding. Right? So, another little section is the fact that they saw a picture of a naked girl that the sisters had, and this girl grew up to be the wife of a senator. So, right there, you understand that these people are in high places. And the Bible did tell us that wickedness in high places, and we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities. As right now I'm doing this, I am under attack. And I hope I can finish. Whether you hear me or the mistakes, please forgive me. It is not easy to bring truth to light. And if it's not true, I would not be under such severe attacks. Only when the truth is being revealed, I come under so much physical attack. I cannot speak, I'm sweating, I feel like I want to pass out, and the rest. So I'm going to read a section about the dark sisters, about the sisters that you need to understand. I found out later that the two sisters would end up living in New York City and working for the United Nations. After being punished for their transgression, they decided to do whatever work was assigned to them by the Dark Mother. So the Dark Mother made them into members of an elite think tank which worked for the UN. I've been told that many of the elites of the United Nations are practicing cannibals who keep slaves, so the two sisters probably fit right in. The two sisters were well educated and quite intelligent, so from a Luciferian point of view, it was logical that they would wind up on a UN think tank. This think tank was a group of intellectuals who would made plans for the UN takeover of the world. They also made plans for creating a new civilization for the human race. Once this takeover was complete, so finally the Dark Mother found some practical use for the intelligent talents of the two sisters. Now, before I come into this information, I had made a video about the United Nations being a demonic entity. And in this book, it is showcasing the United Nations true colors. These people are looking to take over the world. And by taking over the world, the people who they are open to be a part of this world, this book goes on to say. Right? As I said, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. Let me get through this now that I'm getting a bit of respite. Bob told me that the dealers in cannibalistic product bring human traffic from around the world. Low-income workers from abroad brought in on cargo ship. They are lured in with stories of income they can earn and the Golden Mountain, which is the prosperous nation of America. Because these workers are undocumented, the human traffickers can do whatever they want with them. I learned the wealthy Luciferians control the dock and the city government. Some of these undocumented workers are sold off for slave labor to be worked in sweatshop. Others are sold to professional food suppliers for cannibals. Be careful. Be careful if you live in a poor country where people are telling you you can come and work as nanny, you can get work as builders. Be very careful. It could be a recruitment for you to be slaughtered like animals. Let's keep it moving so I can give you as much. Bob went on to explain that some of these slaughterhouses treat the human cattle kindly, but some are cruel. Some human cattle are tortured first, so their meat and blood become adrenalized. But there are other slaughterhouses which treat the victims more kindly. In such slaughterhouse, they are quickly killed without pain or fear. This is done by slitting their throat from behind when unexpected during a medical examination. No, there is much, much, much more. But as I said before, you've got to get this book and you've got to check it out for yourself because I'm under attack right now and I'm going to definitely see if I can get through as much as this as I can possible. No, this book tells us about a gay marriage, right? The ritual I attended was a gay marriage where I was married to another boy my age. We were both 13. His Luciferian name was Martin, so it was to be the marriage of Martin and Kathy. Luciferians were Luciferians we had never met before. The rituals, from my point of view, it was just another humiliating experience of sexual abuse, only more bizarre than most. However, I think it was more than that for Martin. No, this child Martin, right? He had parents that abused him sexually. So this book is very deep. It is very deep. And as I said, the connection between gay marriage, between homosexuality, transgenderism is too uncomfortable for me because this book is making a connection between them. No, he sees a series of film, right? And because they record the things that they're up to. I won't go over it, but it is very, very interesting that in one of these films they got a woman that is homeless. And because she's so homeless, they showed her some kindness. And she was also pregnant because it was one of their fetish that they wanted to feed someone their own child. They want to take your child, kill it, and then give you to eat. Now this poor woman think that these wealthy people been kind to them just because they are kind, but she didn't realize that they have a very sinister agenda for her. They killed her child, let her eat it, right? And then, as the film would go on, they took her away. So the film never continued. But if you get this book, you will get to get a picture, get an understanding of what is happening. It reached the fact that they're even asking if the heads are doll heads because they look so real. It showed them killing babies, one black, one white, with one person standing in front of the baby, playing with the baby, and another standing behind, slitting the throat of the baby. No, it is very brutal. You need to get this book because it is telling you what is going on. Now, let me give you another big part of this book. These globalists are traitors or enemies to the United States of America because they secretly oppose the Constitution and plot to destroy the sovereignty of our nation. Their loyalty is not to any sovereign nation but to a new world order, global plutocracy. They intend to announce itself when it is too powerful to resist. Some analysts place this date of announcement as early as 2020 AD. And there are plans for the global plutocracy to have complete control of the world resources by the year 2050. Right? So these people are planning a takeover. They are planning to take over the world. Right? And they are planning to take your resources, that is your water. So they are going to control your water and tell you that there is not enough water for us. because there are places now that people cannot have access to clean drinking water, and they're telling that there is no water, but in fact there is water, but they are controlling it, making sure that you don't have it. So you can either sit down there and think that these people are with you, or you can start asking questions, because we need to make these people accountable that you put in power. Because apart in this book, this boy goes on to let us know that it is those that are in high office, those that are in high office are a part of this, and they are not poor average people, right? So you all need to know what is going on. This is no joke. So let me give you another story about the UN. Most people don't understand that the entire United Nations building is actually a satanic temple. In a small room in the UN, there is a satanic altar. This is called the meditation room. It has an ugly abstract painting on the wall, and if you look closely at the painting, you can see the symbolic representation of the sink. The sink symbol in generally known to represent death and human sacrifice, and the planet Saturn. Specifically, the sink is also the occult symbol for the satanic human sacrifice at the center of the so-called meditation room. It's an altar made of black stone. There are 10 seats which face the altar, each of which represent one of the 10 satanic kings who are expected to co-rule the world once it has been unified by the UN. Bob explained to me that when the UN building is empty late at night, the elite Satanists who run the UN use it secretly for child sacrifice. Now, Hollywood had shown us that the United Nations is a satanic entity. And this book is also letting us know that the UN is a satanic entity. What more can we say about that? What more can we say about the United Nations? As I said, this book is really bringing the receipt. Don't get one, don't get two, but get three of these books. And you need to understand where our children are going. They are human cattle, they are used for blood sacrifice, and they are used for meat. Now, a little bit about the I Adept Satanist. Now, the I Adept Satan is a type of satanic practitioner who deliberately creates a psychic connection with Satan and his loyal demons. I Adept Satanists do not use cannibalism or blood drinking as part of their ritual practice. Some I Adept Satanists may practice some cannibalism or blood drinking for non-ritual purpose, but the true I Adept Satan never use sex or violence as part of their ceremony. No, we are getting somewhere. These people, humans, want a connection with Satan or Lucifer. Now, what is shocking about this book for me as well is the United Nations, a trusted entity that so many people look up to. No, I do not know if Elohim is aware that there is 10 kings that intend to rule the world, right? So 10 of you intend to rule this world, and I do not understand the position of the Most High on this. But he would have to have something to say if you are trying to rule something that he has created. And it will be mighty interesting to see how this plays out. Now, let's keep it moving as I try to get through as much of this as possible. Now, they are calling us roaches. Now, some examples of roach motels are the FEMA camps, the deep underground military base, the ghost city of China, and large ships on the sea, which would be promoted as a kind of Noah's Ark. Things all of these places would be promoted as self-refuge for people fleeing disaster. But when you get there, you'll probably be killed. And if you aren't killed, you'll be tortured and brainwashed until you're nothing but a slave. So, this chapter is about the Roach Motel agenda. So, when you're running to the government for refuge. Whichever center you check into, you will not be checking out, right? Because these people are plotting a depopulation agenda. So people, yeah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. I do not know what to say about all of this that is going on. But another interesting part is how they plan to use surgical mutilation on their subordinate as a method of control. So they intend to cut your hands, your foot, your body parts that were given to you by the Most High. These people intend to cut it off. So let's get into it. Bob the Flipmaker was an organizer for the resistance. He liked to be called Bob, which was short for Beelzebub, a name for the devil. This resistant group, as I have explained, wasn't interested in destroying the Illuminati. They just wanted to make it less insanely violent. They were trying to engineer a new leadership for the committee that runs the Illuminati. Since Bob made film for the committee, he had access to a number of film that depict satanic ritual performance by different groups. The Illuminati is a complex system. Not all subgroups have the same practices, and the committee wanted to document the different rituals used by the groups. On film, Bob showed me documented the result of some surgery that was performed on a beautiful woman to remove her healthy arms. The story Bob told me was that a secret Satanist who worked as a priest in a Vatican once saw a beautiful poor woman visiting there. He instantly became sexually obsessed with her. He found out where she lived and began to stalk her. One day he set aside his priestly garb. Dressed in fine Italian suit, he approached her at a cafe, made a proposition that she should become his mistress. She refused. Now, to cut this short, they kidnapped her and cut her arms off because it seems as if that these people are trying to destroy humanity on every level. Now let's get into another line. Also, he showed me videos of hidden laboratories where there were disembodied heads being kept alive using elaborate support machines. These were ongoing experiments which are attempting to interface computer with human brain. In the video, it was clear that some of the disembodied heads are still alive, and some of them could be seen blinking and mouthing words. One of them seems to be saying the same thing over and over. He seems to be saying, "Kill me now." Now, I talk about a movie, Mars Attack, where I've said that they're showing you the technology that they have to take people's head off their bodies while they're still alive. Now, in this book, this individual is saying that he saw a film showing that there are secret laboratories that they are taking people, mainly people who are homeless, right? That they can use as experimental crash dummies. That's wicked. That's wicked. The attack is real. Yeah, the attack is real. It's very real. Now let's get into another bit. Another part is where they have a farm where they have humans working as robots. Now, a nurse that was a replacement went and saw all of this. Oh my God. The attack is real. When she see all of this, and I don't even have the flu, but I'm stuffy, I'm sweaty, I'm itching, I feel like I want to pass out. Let's continue. When this nurse went and saw what she had seen, she decided to send an email. She didn't realize that these people had control over her email. She was killed. What she saw was a secret farm where they have humans working as robots. So these humans were brainwashed and they had parts of their brain cut away, right? And they were dressed up in shiny plastic uniform that look like chrome, but they move and talk like robots. So, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. This is just absolutely wicked, right? What these people plan for humanity. A common saying, man is planning, but God is wiping it out. And this book is a nightmare because you have a farm that have humans as robots under brainwash and parts of their brains cut away. The nurse decided to blow the whistle, they killed her. You have another scene in this book where human limbs are being cut away on an industrial level. We have another part where the UN is a place of a satanic temple. The UN that so many of you take instructions for. They are showing us that the UN works for a satanic objective. That these people are all a part of destroying humanity. Right? And we need to understand that I cannot overemphasize it. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but with wicked powers in high places. Now, this young man, I've experienced this from as a child into adulthood. There is so much more to this book, but I can only give you a few lines because I'm under physical attack right now. I can hardly speak, I can hardly breathe, and I feel itchy. I feel like I'm going to pass out. I have to just go and have a prayer and just go outside and take a walk because I feel really pressured right now. The attack is real. Please get this book. Please get it for your friends and families and realize what is happening. If you live in a poor country, be mindful of people who are coming showing you charity. People who are bringing you food. Be mindful of friends inviting you out to restaurant for your birthdays, for celebration. You could be the target of people smugglers that need you. So you must be mindful of what is going on. It is an extremely dangerous world that we live in. And these people have a sinister plan to destroy humanity. So whatever you do, be alert. Right? Let me see. Did I go over this? Yes, I went over this bit where the heads were alive because they have a hidden laboratories. Yes, I went over this. And I will be doing uh another one on Operation Paperclip. Oh God, I just felt a sharp pain in my head. Oh my God, deliver me. I just felt a sharp pain in my head. People, I will continue to pray and I will say glory be to the Most High in these troubled times because I'm really, really in pain.